Okay. Hello, dear participants, our students, team guests, and respected head ma'am, and our faculty members on our virtual audience. Good afternoon, namaste, and a warm virtual welcome to each one of you. Today, I, Dr. Soumya Pandey, we have a distinct pleasure of hosting a renowned expert in clinical and counseling psychology field, Dr. Ashutosh Srivastava, sir. He'll be enlightening us with their valuable insight. We are truly honored to have them share their expertise and with us in this digital realm. Uh, as we navigate this online platform, let's extend our virtual hospitality to serve in this spirit of adapting to our current virtual setting. We have encouraged you to actively participate in today's session and feel free to ask questions using the chat feature in this chat box, and we will do our best to address them during the question answer sessions. Now, without further ado, let's give a heartily virtual round of applause for Sir. So let's welcome Dr. Ashutosh Srivastava, Sir, to our digital our digital stage. Their wealth and knowledge of experience is sure to make today's lecture an engaging and enlightening experience for all of us. Let me brief a small in time for Dr. Srivastava sir. Dr. Srivastava sir is an experienced clinical psychologist and counseling psychologist, bringing over 18 plus years of hands-on expertise on the realm of behavior analysis, psychotherapy, and counseling and training. Holding an MPhil in clinical psychology and a PhD in psychology with this specialized focus on the psychological profiling. He is proficiently in a clinical practice in noteworthy. As an associate professor of clinical psychology at Assam Downtown University in Guwahati, Dr. Srivastava sir has played a pivotal role in shaping the next generation of mental health professionals with a rich history of designing and implementing training programs for organizations such as NCAO, NIP, CCD, and UNICEF. His influence extends beyond the academic boundaries, and additionally, Dr. Srivastava sir has trained over 10,000 plus professionals in this various attitude and behavior change protocol, showcasing his dedication and fostering positive clinical outcomes. Currently, he is serving as a director in Psych Uni Institute of Psychology and Allied Sciences, Lucknow, and as the president of the Bharatiya Counseling Psychology Association, he remains at the forefront of clinical practices and professional developments. His role and board member uh, of the International Reattachment Therapy, and he's a foundation and global counseling psychology forum. Further, let's emphasizes his commitment and advancing clinical psychology for a goal of a global scale, and we are fortunate to have you, sir, with us. Uh, Sir is affiliated with the president of Bharati Counseling Psychology and board member of International Reattachment Therapy, as I have said. Now, let's embrace the convenience of technology as we embark on this digital journey of learning the discovery. Please join us in giving a warm and enthusiastic welcome of our esteemed guest speaker, Dr. Ashutosh Srivastava, sir. Now, let's make the most of this opportunity to engage actively. Take a note and don't hesitate to share your thoughts, students, and ask questions if you have. And your collective participation will sure make the session more enriching. So let's once again thank you, sir, and thank you
Thank you,
for
Dr.
all
Sonia.
being here. Now I would like to welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sonia. Thank you for such a generous introduction and welcome. It is a pleasure being with you and with the university and talking to your students on such a very relevant issue of understanding self and self resilience. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, as the title of the today's of the topic of the today's discussion was proposed to be understanding self and self resilience, it is very close to my heart and it's very important to understand these two concepts together. Whenever we are on any journey, I believe you all will remember this. If you switch on your GPS and look for a destination and look for a path, or shortest path, or the best route to that place, Google or any other navigation tool asks you to locate yourself. What is your current location? Without knowing your current location, no GPS can tell you the right direction or the best route. That is the most important thing. And today's discussion will be around this GPS only. How we can use this GPS model to design the journey of our own lives faster, safer, and most convenient route can only be identified by understanding this GPS model. So self-awareness is like understand when we talk about understanding self, it is self-awareness basically, and self-awareness is like knowing where you are. Technically, it means who you are, but in the journey called life, this becomes where you are. What are the options? What are the opportunities? What are the resources? What are the threats that you have? So when you know who you are, where you are, then at least half of the problem is solved, because then you have to only find out where you have to go. So be it journey related to success, be it journey related to happiness, be it journey related to health, be it journey related to mental health, be it journey related to academics, be it a journey related to anything in the world, the first step is always to know yourself. And this knowing can be of two types. One, what we know about ourselves, or what we can know about ourselves, and the other one, what others know about ourselves but we don't know. Many a times we get feedback or inputs from people around us that, see, this is who you are and this is how you behave and this is how you smell. So overall existence, overall personality of an individual is about knowing oneself or understanding oneself. So today I'll be talking more about resilience, because it is even more important to understand the journey. Understanding self is the beginning point, and the destination we have dreamt of, we have thought of, is the ultimate goal of life, or maybe goal of our education, or goal of a relationship, goal of a business, goal of a job, and anything we do. But you all will agree that journey is more important than destination in most of the cases. And people who are able to enjoy the journey are the happiest. So today we'll focus on understanding this journey, how we can make best of the journey and make best experience out of this journey. So again, I'll go back to this GPS example. Many a times you would have realized that to reach a place, there are multiple routes. And then Google suggests you three, four alternate routes, and then you select one of them. And sometimes when you start your journey and you realize that this route is not the best one, is having more traffic, or is it not the fastest one, then you reroute yourself to make your journey more convenient, more safe, and faster. So similarly, in life also, we do lot of rerouting at times. And this rerouting is called self-resilience. And it has been seen globally that people who are resilient, they are happier, they are having higher achievements, they are having better relationships. So they are able to adjust with the demands of the time. But in general, we have a tendency to say, like there was a movie very recently we saw, and there was a famous dialogue that पुष्पा साला झुकेगा नहीं. So जो झुकेगा नहीं वो टूट जाएगा. And self resilience is all about bending and then coming back instead of breaking. So we'll not break, we'll bend and then we'll come back. So resilience is, in other words, is our ability to bounce back, is our ability to reroute, is our ability to adapt, is our ability to adjust. But this adjustment is temporary. Resilience is not compromise that we have adjusted forever. No. When there are adversities, audacities in the environment, will bend. Resilience is also about politeness, humbleness. So, resilience is a very strong, powerful virtue that we have. So, today we'll try to understand it more because it helps us in maintaining our well being in different circumstances. When there is an adversity, it helps us in adapting. So, whenever there is a setback, resilience become important because it protects us against any kind of mental health problems which may occur due to this setback. And it is something to be developed. This is not something we are born with. And it is not about having everything or being most competent or no. It is about when we are under pressure, when we are under threat, when we are under negative adverse circumstances, it's our ability to bear it and then bounce back as early as we can. So the moment the cyclone is over, we are back to our original strength. That is what is resilience. So it will not save us from experiencing adversities or maybe negative experiences or setbacks or losses or damages, but it will certainly help us in coming back to our full strength the moment that negative environmental condition is over. That is why it becomes very important. Normally, we see there are three stages of resilience. One is recovery, that even in tough times, we are not losing our ground, we are continuously making efforts. Then, second step is coping. The moment this adverse situation is over, we restart, recreate, reroute ourselves. and then transformation. So every time we are bouncing back, every time we are able to restart, we evolve as a better person, as a happier person, as a stronger person. So resilience does not only bring strength, it also brings an opportunity to grow. It also brings an opportunity to evolve. It also brings an opportunity to become a better version of ourselves. And how we can develop this resilience, it is about making a balance between protective factors and risk factors. So in any given situation, there are risk factors. Even at present, when we are talking, there are certain risk factors. It may be technology, it may be electricity, it may be something else. But there are protective factors, which often we ignore when we are in stress, when we are in you know, adverse situations, in difficult situations. So we always need to keep working on protective factors than the risk factors. We need to keep our focus on protective factors and minimize the risk factors. So, what are risk factors in our scenario, in our psychosocial environment where we live? The most common is poor social coping skills. Unfortunately, most of us are not trained for social coping skills, like how to cope up in a socially difficult, adverse situations. We are all programmed for success. Since childhood, everybody talks about success, success, success. But nobody is talking about how to face a failure, how to overcome a failure. Because there is nobody in the universe who has only experienced success. We do, and we are bound to experience failures. But we are not trained for that. Therefore, we have very poor social coping skills. Also, we have very insecure kind of attachment. Relationships of any kind, be it friends, family, parents, teachers at times, these relationships don't liberate us. Rather, you know, they make us more insecure. So we need to build, we need to invest on relationships. And then definitely poor nutrition is one more issue. And India being a developing country, poverty is also around us. Chronic illnesses are very common, like diabetes, thyroid, blood pressure, and many more. And we are not a violence free community. And violence does not mean having rights. Violence means having verbal abuse at home, or domestic violence at home, or maybe having physical abuse or emotional abuse. All kind of violence can be seen in the society. So these are all risk factors. We need to work on them, to minimize them, to build a resilient persona. On the other hand, there are protective factors that India still shares a very strong bond within the family. We are still involved with extended family. There are cultures where it is difficult to find second or third cousin now. That is a reality, but at least in India, we have those extended family relationships. Most of us are also blessed with at least one close relationship in familial or social domains, maybe with friends or somebody in the family. Many of us are able to enjoy good sense of humor. We are all people of faith. So, be it spiritual, religious, or even atheist people have some sense of faith to a universal design. And this faith gives hope. We have positive attitude towards life. Sometimes when it is missing, we need to work towards it. We can develop good social skills. We can continue to learn, like this workshop, this interaction is also an effort towards that. We have a range of sports, leisure activities which we can participate in. All can have our personal goals. We can manage a good housing nowadays, at least for us who are privileged ones having an ability to interact through online platforms or be are able to go to universities. So we are also blessed with a decent housing, if not the best one, and then good problem solving skills. So these are protective factors. We can either we have it or we need to build upon it, and we need to minimize the risk. So both risk and protective factors are common to us. We need to work on them to build our capacity to be more and more resilient. So now think, let's do a small activity. It's a visualization activity where you have to think about the time you had to be resilient. When you told or you were told that you can't be weak at this time, you have to fight back. This experience could be anything: good, bad, ugly, vulgar, large, small, anything. Just think about it and consider these following things: that what was the major challenge that you had to handle at that time? What did you learn about yourself at that time? What personal strength did you draw upon at that time? Just look at yourself, your image when you were the most resilient in that instance. And how are you using that strength now? So do a 30-second visualization around these questions and see how do you feel? What is your feeling? So it is always a question people ask: where does this resilience come from? So answer is, the way we behave is shaped by a range of factors including personality and past experiences. And definitely current circumstances and people around us contribute to that. So these are all things that influence a person's resilience. But most important is our own focus on building our capacities or on being more resilient. So first step, as I told you, is self-awareness. Use various strategies to build this self-awareness. Then that will help you develop a feeling of confidence, yes, that I can handle any adverse situation. And then this positive outlook and confidence helps you grow and develop. And then one fine day you become source of strength for others. By looking at you, people feel more confident, more resilient. By talking to you, people feel more confident and more resilient. So this journey starts with self and ends with helping others, supporting others. So self awareness is about knowing yourself. How are you feeling? How I behave with people? What am I thinking? How I carry myself in my personal domain? How I carry myself in my public spaces? All that is part of your self awareness. And it's always important to know that. And when you find yourself ruminating, thinking about past, or maybe got caught up in a cycle of negative thoughts, we need to break this cycle. Think of better experiences. When we are stressed, we think of our failures. That last time when this has happened, we failed. Last time when that had happened, we failed. And then we develop, you know, this negative cycle, loop of negative thoughts. But then a good strategy can be that, break this cycle and think of good things. That no, the fact is we failed sometimes, but these are the instances when we succeeded. We solved problems, and that is how we can solve this time also. So think of solutions. When you think of solutions, you'll find solutions. When you think of problems, you'll find problems. This is how our mind works. So think it logically. If you need help, go and ask for it. Sometimes problem is such that it is beyond our control. We can't control everything. So when we can't control it, it is a good idea to accept it. Make a conscious decision that I cannot control it, I cannot change it. So I'm not going to focus on this. I accept it the way it is, and I'll be focusing more on what I can do, how I can do, and how I can solve the things that is solvable, that is under my control. So consider these questions. What practical resources do you have? What physical resources do you have? What psychological resources do you have? What interpersonal resources do you have? And what spiritual resources do you have? So these are very important questions to ask yourself. Okay? Any questions so far? So if you ask these questions will help you build your capacities, build your self awareness, because then you know where you are, and then you also know where you want to be. Hello, Dr. Soumya. Can we use the slides again? Hello, Dr.
Yes,
Soumya. Can we use the slides again? So these questions are actually going to help you think about who you are, what you can be, how you can grow, what are the areas of improvement, what are the resources and support system you need to build, what do you have, because many a times we have the things, we have the resources, but we are not paying attention to that. And when we realize that, oh, it was there, I could have used it in the time of crisis, it becomes a bit late. So Dr. Soumya, please put on the presentation. Hello. So, any questions so far? Any doubts? Any queries? No? So, we can have two type of thoughts. One, that I've lost everything, there is no way out, or we can think like there must be some way out. There must be some solution to this. Something has to be there, and I need to find it out. So, resilience is all about finding the difference between these two set of questions and switching our thinking from the second one to the first one. So, first one is a resilient thinking, and the second one is unhealthy, unhelpful thinking. So, researchers have demonstrated that number one roadblock to resilience is not genetics, it's not childhood experience, not a lack of opportunity or wealth. The principal obstacle to tapping into our inner strength with the cognitive thinking style. So, resilience is all about changing our thinking style. Resilience is all about how we look at people around us, about us, and about life. So, the moment we are able to change our perspective, our thinking style, we start becoming more and more resilient. So, it's not my fault, I'm not a victim. These type of thoughts are actually going to build our resilience. Helplessness, we often feel helpless in tough situations, in adverse situations. But believe me, helplessness is not a conclusion, it is not a fact. It is only based, it is only emerged from our thinking that nothing I can do to change the scenario situation. But the moment you realize that something has to be done, something can be done, helplessness fades away. So we need to keep working on our thinking style. So instead of blaming us, victimizing us, we need to focus on solutions. We need to focus on problem solving. We need to focus on opportunities. As and when they appear, we should be able to grab it. That is what resilience is. So keep telling yourself, I'm the type of person who can do difficult things. That is why I'm blessed with these adversities, so that I can perform, I can do great things. Believe me, people who are able to do difficult things are actually doing great things. And all the great things have been done in this way only. There was no easy way for anyone in the entire history of human race. Whatever culture, geography, religion, faith, race we belong to, people who did great things never intended to do great things. They only intended to do difficult things. Now, if you have any questions, any queries, I would like to have them. I'll be happy to see your queries, comments, questions, if there are any.
Yes, students, you may ask your questions. Okay, so students, you may ask your question in our chat box if you have any queries. ठीक है, फिर आगे बढ़ते हैं. लेट्स end this session, and I would like to thank you, sir, on the behalf of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Science.
Thank you,
I
Sani.
express my sincere gratitude to for your participation as a guest speaker, sir, at our value-added course on
Thank,
understanding self and self-resilience. Sir, literally your presentation and your presence of mind was informative, engaging, and thought-provoking. It was clear that you put a lot of thought and preparation into your talk, and it showed, sir. And once again, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to you, sir, for the gracious accepting our invitation to speak today, and your willingness to share your knowledge with us is truly commendable, sir. And we
you,
are
Sani.
eager to learn from you always, sir.
Me too.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.